You took such a beautiful person away. For the rest of my life, I'm gonna hate you.
This opening is chilling. We hear the raw, unfiltered pain of a father who just lost his daughter. You took such a beautiful person away. For the rest of my life, I'm going to hate you. Imagine saying these words to the person who took your child on her wedding day. This isn't just grief, it's a profound, seething rage that a parent should never have to feel. It immediately sets a heavy, emotional tone, pulling us directly into the heart of this tragedy. What do you think you would say in a moment like this?
We go to Charleston, South Carolina for a plea hearing. 27-year-old Jamie Lee Komorowski has been charged with felony DUI causing death, reckless homicide, and felony DUI with great bodily harm. A year and a half earlier, police say Komorowski had been drinking at multiple bars before getting behind the wheel of her car. Then, while driving 65 miles an hour in a 25 zone, Komorowski rear-ended a golf cart carrying 4 people, leaving a wedding reception.
The scene is Charleston, South Carolina, where the tragic details of this case are laid out. We're introduced to the defendant, Jamie Lee Komorowski, and the victims, newlywed bride Samantha Miller and her husband, Eric Hutchinson. The sheer irony and cruelty of the timing, a tragedy unfolding just 5 hours after a wedding, is almost impossible to comprehend. The facts are damning. Komorowski, with a blood alcohol content 3 times the legal limit, was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. The speed alone is reckless, but combined with the intoxication, it's a recipe for disaster. This wasn't just an accident. It was a devastating and completely preventable crash.
The cart was thrown 100 yards from the crash scene, rolling several times. The bride and groom, 34-year-old Samantha Miller and 36-year-old Eric Hutchinson, who'd gotten married just 5 hours earlier, were sitting in the back of the cart and were ejected during the crash. Samantha died at the scene, while Eric suffered a brain injury and several broken bones. Also injured in the crash were Eric's brother-in-law, 46-year-old Benjamin Garrett, and his 17-year-old son, Brogan.
The description of the crash is horrifying. The force was so immense it threw the golf cart 100 yards, leaving the victim scattered. Samantha, the beautiful bride, died at the scene. Her husband, Eric, survived, but was left with severe injuries. This just hammers home the sheer force of the impact and the unimaginable trauma the victims and their families endured. Their joyous wedding day turned into a living nightmare in an instant.
Both were treated at a nearby hospital and have recovered. When police arrived at the crash scene, they say Komorowski refused to take a breathalyzer test. But soon after she was taken into custody, a blood test showed her BAC was .261, more than 3 times the legal limit. She was officially charged.
The details of the aftermath are equally compelling. Komorowski refused a breathalyzer at the scene, which is a key detail. While it might seem like a small action, it speaks to a certain state of mind, or perhaps a desperate attempt to avoid consequences. However, the subsequent blood test proved her high level of intoxication. With a BAC of .261, there's no room for doubt. This detail solidifies the prosecution's case and highlights the stark difference between Komorowski's choices and the devastating outcome.
Today, Komorowski appears before Judge Deidre Jefferson to enter a guilty plea and hear her sentence. The maximum she could receive is 25 years in prison. But first, several members of the victims' families deliver impact statements to the court, beginning with Samantha's father, Brad Warner.
This person, you took such a beautiful person away. For the rest of my life, I'm gonna hate you. And when I arrive in hell and you come there, I'll open the door for you.
Now we're in the courtroom. The focus shifts to the emotional weight of the victim's statements. Samantha's father, Brad Warner steps up to the stand. His words are haunting. He says he will hate you for the rest of his life and that he'll open the door for you in hell. This is not courtroom rhetoric. It's the raw, visceral pain of a father who has lost his child. His statement is a powerful indictment of Komorowski's actions and the irreparable harm she caused. It's hard to imagine anyone hearing those words without feeling the profound sorrow of this moment.
Next is the groom, Eric Hutchinson, who's still recovering from his injuries.
Sam was my wife. I was sitting next to her on the golf cart. I've been thinking about what to say ever since that night. What do you say when your world's shattered? I think about that night every single day. In the last moments I had with Sam. On the golf cart. She told me she didn't want the night to end. And I kissed her on the forehead. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital. I wish more than anything you have me instead of Sam. I wish I died that night. So she didn't have to go alone.
Next, Eric Hutchinson, the groom, gives his statement. He is still recovering from his injuries, which adds another layer of emotion to his words. Think about this, man. On his wedding day, he lost his new wife and his future with her. Not only is he dealing with the physical pain of his brain injury and broken bones, but he's also living with the devastating emotional pain of losing Samantha. His presence in the courtroom and his statement are a testament to the incredible strength required to face the person who took away everything he held dear.
Before imposing sentence, Judge Jefferson gives the defendant a chance to speak.
My name is Jamie Komorowski, and on the night of April 28, 2023, I chose to drink and drive. This is the worst decision I have ever made in my life, and it has affected the lives of so many. I want the last thing that I say to be that from the very bottom of my heart, with every fiber in my being, how sorry I am, and that I take full responsibility for my actions. Please know that I will always be devastated, deeply ashamed, and terribly sorry for what I have done.
Finally, it's the defendant's turn to speak. After all the pain and suffering we've just witnessed, Jamie Lee Komorowski gets a chance to address the court. She says, "I take full responsibility for my actions," and expresses how devastated, deeply ashamed, and terribly sorry she is. But do you think her words are enough? For the victims' families, this might feel like a hollow apology, a statement made under pressure. The contradiction between her tearful statement and the horrific, reckless action she committed is stark. Her words, no matter how sincere, can never bring back the life she took or heal the wounds she caused.
When she's finished, the judge imposes the maximum sentence, 25 years in prison. Komorowski must serve a minimum of 15 years before
The judge's ruling is swift and definitive. Judge Jefferson imposes the maximum sentence of 25 years in prison. Komorowski must serve a minimum of 15 years before she is eligible for parole. This sentence reflects the severe nature of her crime and the immense loss she caused. It's a moment of closure for the families, a confirmation that justice, in the eyes of the law, has been served.